So as I was making my Franz Wagner video, a specific topic came to my mind that I actually really wanted to speak on, and that is the Magic and the Bulls in the Nikola Vucevic trade. Let's be honest, that's the main piece of this trade. So before we get into it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified for every single time I upload. Nikola Vucevic, Wendell Carter Jr. were traded for each other, pretty much. 2021. So in 2021, when the Magic finally decided to blow up their roster, we traded Nikola Vucevic to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Wendell Carter, Otto Porter Jr., and 2 first-round top 4 protected picks. Now these picks, last year's went pretty great. It was an 8th overall pick. But next year's pick, we could see be in the top low, mid-20s, anywhere from 20 to 30 range, because frankly, the Bulls are playing terrific basketball right now. How does this trade benefit? How is it looking for both sides? And I'll be honest with you, so far this trade looks phenomenal for both sides. And before I really get into any details, I want to let you all know I love the Magic and I love the Bulls. So I am truly heavily rooting for both of these teams. I'm rooting for the Bulls for the East. I'm saying it now. I want the Bulls to win it. Who really won this trade, or was it a tie? So look, this year, Nikola Vucevic, he is not playing like the all-star. We know he is, and that's for a variety of different reasons. As you can see, on the season, Nikola Vucevic is averaging 16 points a game, 11.4 rebounds, which is not a surprise at all, and 3.4 assists. And that's the stat that kind of jumps out at me a little bit, because Nikola Vucevic is a primary scoring center. And the fact that he's having 3.4 assists is pretty impressive, because as you see, in all of his previous years, he's always averaged 3 to 4 assists a game, which is one of the more things that I was always impressed by Vucevic. Even though he's taking the scoring load, he knows when to pass out and when he should score the ball. Now, I will say his shooting numbers are down this year. His three-point percentage is down, and his regular field goal percentage is down. But that is expected, being that it's a whole new situation, whole new system, whole new team, whole new players. No one that's playing with them played in Orlando with them. So it's a totally different system. And now, Wendell Carter Jr., he's having an up year. So Wendell Carter Jr. on this season is averaging 13 points per game on 10.3 rebounds and 2.7 assists. And his three-point percentage has increased 9 percentage points from last year to this year. So he's shooting a 33% from 3, which is very impressive for Wendell Carter Jr., especially given that he has struggled to shoot the 3 in previous years. He's having an up year. But his situation is totally different from Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic went from being the main man of his star to being more of a third or fourth option on a contending team. If we're being honest, Vucevic isn't called upon to score the ball mostly. If you watch the Bulls, a lot of their offense is Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Lonzo Ball just dishing out the ball to anyone that can really catch it. Nikola Vucevic isn't their main scoring option, which right now can seem like a pretty bad thing. But once you get into the playoffs and you have Vucevic in the playoffs and you have so many people focusing on Zach and DeMar, Vucevic can literally light up the other team. Against the Bucks, Vucevic was unstoppable in the playoffs. Granted, it was the bubble, but he was great against the Bucks in the playoffs, which is impressive. So, obviously, concerning these two players, it's a pretty great trade for both of them. Nikola Vucevic is one of the main reasons why the Bulls were able to land MVP DeMar DeRozan. He's the reason why DeMar ended up on the Bulls. Now I see why DeMar DeRozan was always linked to the Magic. Literally every offseason we would see DeMar DeRozan was linked to the Magic in some kind of way, and now it all makes sense. It's because Vucevic was on the team, and Nikola Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan always wanted to play together on the same team, which makes a lot of sense now. They were college teammates. But Vucevic and Wendell Carter have both been great for their respective teams. Vucevic is going to get better. It's just a matter of adjusting. Wendell Carter Jr., he's playing so well because he has no problems. He has no pressure. He has no one competing to take his spot. Obviously, he's competing with Mo Bamba, but in reality, they're both starting right next to each other, and they're having Mo Bamba play a totally different type of game, and Wendell Carter's more of the down-to-earth center holding the big man. So the reality is, both of them are playing phenomenal for their teams. Trust me, Vucevic is going to be great come playoff time. When you really slow down the game, Vucevic is one of the best half-court scorers because paint play is always needed in the NBA. Now, moving on, the Chicago Bulls, they did get Al-Farouq Aminu. That guy, they used him to trade for DeMar DeRozan. So, Al-Farouq Aminu was a great piece for the Bulls. Look at that. He helped land MVP DeMar DeRozan. So, frankly, he was really needed for this team. But the other piece that was very intriguing was not Otto Porter Jr. I was not about to say that. He left us completely. He hates our team. Otto Porter Jr. went to the Warriors. I'm not surprised. But Franz Wagner was also a piece that ended up being a huge piece of this trade. And look, if we're being honest, you can't blame the Chicago Bulls for trading a pick of a player that they never knew was even going to be this good. Now, if the Chicago Bulls were like, oh, Franz Wagner is going to be a beast, then obviously Franz Wagner would have taken way before the 8th pick. Because every other team would have been like, yo, Franz is a beast. We're going to take him. So, look, in reality, I cannot blame the Bulls for trading away their pick because the Bulls are the number 1 seed right now. And the Bulls are playing this great without Patrick Williams, who has the potential to be an all-star in the NBA. So in no way, shape, or form should you be blaming the Bulls for trading away a pick that now means nothing because they're the first overall seed in the East and they're competing for playoff position for the first time in not that long. The Bulls were in the playoffs 2015. Bulls fans make a huge, oh, we haven't been to the playoffs in so long. Bro, it's only been 5-6 years. Take it easy. We missed it 7 years in a row. Take it easy. So in reality, this trade worked out phenomenally for both sides. The Bulls, they get Vucevic and DeMar DeRozan. If we're being honest, DeMar DeRozan ended up being a huge part of this trade because Vucevic is the reason they were able to land DeRozan. And if you look at the Magic side, Wendell Carter Jr. and that 8th pick from the Bulls ended up being Franz Wagner. So for both sides, Magic get a young, great center, well, working to be great, and a young, great rookie power forward, which we desperately needed. The Bulls get an all-star center that ends up pulling DeMar DeRozan. So in no way, shape, or form should you be arguing, oh, the Magic won this trade, oh, the Bulls won this trade, because frankly, no one really won this trade. This trade has been extremely even, and it's worked out for both sides. Now, granted, if the Bulls missed the playoffs completely, then obviously it was a failure of a trade. But that's not going to happen. The Bulls are going to be great. They're going to be elite. Unless injuries play a factor, which I pray injuries do not happen because I love this Bulls team. I really do. And they're one of my more favorite team to watch. And the Magic play the Bulls tonight, which is going to end up in a blowout. Please make me eat my words. But know that the Bulls have their full roster. DeMar DeRozan, back-to-back game-winning buzzer beaters. It's going to be hell for the Magic. And I honestly think that maybe in the future, these two teams might become rivals if the Magic can actually be good. And then it'll always be sort of like Vucevic coming in, taking what used to be his, winning games. But honestly, it's been great for both sides. And if you see people, idiots, arguing, oh, my team won this trade, you're wrong. We're all wrong. Well, I'm right. But you're wrong because both teams won the trade. So that is all I have for today, guys. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the button to be notified for every single time I upload. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace out.